And by that, what we mean is that you need to physically travel to the location of the task in order to accomplish the task. And that's the main difference with regular crowdsourcing. And again, this is enabled by the smartphone. So an example of a spatial task is go to a certain location and take a picture at a given time. And that's the sort of a task we're talking about. You guys probably familiar with VGI that Mike coined in 2007. So this is a kind of a special case of VGI where the crowdsourced information basically, first of all, doesn't have to be geographical. It can be other sorts of information. The geographical part or the spatial part come from the fact that you need to be at the location at the time. And the other difference is that with VGI, the users, the volunteers, they're not solicited to provide information. Here, we explicitly go and ask people to provide information. So here is an example application for this to motivate it. Let's say that there's a journalist who is covering some sort of a event that is happening at the city at different location. He doesn't have the time to go to all these locations at that time and collect, let's say, video. However, what he can do is submit his tasks to this special crowdsourcing server. And the special crowdsourcing server has a bunch of workers spread around the city with their phone, and they are somehow subscribed to this service. So they immediately get some sort of a trigger from the special crowdsourcing server that there is an interest in collecting a video from this location at this time. And they being close to the location, they go and they collect the data. There are a lot of challenges basically on how to reach these workers and how to utilize the phone to collect the data. And some of these we collaborate with multimedia faculty members at other universities. This is at NUS, University of Singapore, where they focus on doing content analysis and also using other sensors on the phone to identify exactly what was captured and whether that's the right content or not. So this project, we kind of proposed it several months ago to NSF. Just last 2 weeks ago, I heard back that it's funded by NSF, so I added their logo here. Google is already funding this, and they actually provided us with some of these cool Google glasses, because you can think of those as a main enabler. You just walk around and collect video, sometimes without even you knowing it. And Northrop Grumman find defense applications, and actually Chevron is interested for safety security application as well. So there are a lot of applications for this environment. One of the specific case studies we did actually was in January, where we had the presidential inauguration. PBS NewsHour, they have this website where you can basically, this website actually is for students in journalism. They can go and collect information and post it on geographically. So they provided our app, they actually acknowledged us down here, to these students. So when they collect the video, we basically not only collect the actual content, but we also collect a field of view of what exactly was covered. Now you may say why that is important. If you do have the various videos from different field of views, you can automatically connect them and generate these 360-degree pictures. So this is not much of a content analysis. It's just simply figuring out different views, different field of views, and just stitching them together. So that's one project we worked on. So from a research perspective, once you go from VGI, or if you guys familiar with the concept of participatory sensing, which is another similar framework. With participatory sensing, or you basically, there's a single campaign and you are familiar with the workers. Here, you're not familiar with the workers. And then you can have multiple requesters and multiple workers. You need to do the matching. So the matching become a challenge, how you do the assignment of the task to the workers. based on when the task gonna expire, whether it's the location of the task, and so on. So we defined this problem in ACMGIS last year. So if you're interested, this basically focuses on the problem of task assignment and some of the research underlying there. The other, because of the fact that you don't know the workers and this is just an e-market system, you need to somehow be able to trust the data that is collected by these workers. So we also look at the issue of trust. In this year, ACMGIS, we have a paper. It's in November in Orlando, I think. And these papers are, by the way, on my website if you're interested. And there we look at the reputation of the workers. So we keep the reputation of workers the same as any other e-marketing application like eBay. And then we try to, and each task now has a confidence value. So we try to match the confidence value of the task by the reputation of the worker who collects it. And sometimes you cannot match it, so you need to do redundant collection. So if you have multiple workers with different reputation collect the same task and they agree, then the value or the trust that you have on that content can increase. So that's the issue we looked at here. And the last research issue that we're looking at right now, and we haven't had a paper yet, we're working on it, is on the issue of privacy. And this is basically the problem of sometimes people would like to collect data for you, but they don't want to reveal either their ID or their location. So we are working on different techniques where you can still contribute to the data collection, but don't reveal your location or your ID. So this is something we're using differential privacy techniques. And if you're interested, you can work together. We just started on this one, and this is another topic under the NSF project. Actually, I did left like about 2 minutes for Q&A if you want.
Oh, good. Yes, 2 minutes.
Question. When you say privacy of people taking pictures, what about the privacy of the people whose pictures are being taken?
Right. So that's actually very interesting, and we haven't looked at that. So and this is not really the issue of the geo-crowdsourcing. Is the issue of Google Street View or any other data collection. You go around with the Google Glass. Actually, that's a major privacy invasion in that regard. So we haven't looked at that. I know that computer vision folks looking at techniques to automatically identify faces and blur them and things like that, but that's not something we focus because it's not specific to this framework.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, time to clap even.